A gorgeous day in Lakeville, Connecticut. Lime Rock Park is the site of the 9th race of the 2009 season. Drivers joking the calm before the storm was we're about to take on the road course at Lime Rock Park. The drivers about to get strapped in. A 12-turn road course. I'm Rick Allen alongside Phil Parsons, coming to you today on a beautiful day here in the upper northeast. 88 degrees is the temperature. Forecast sunny skies. Scattered clouds not going to affect the race today. Let's go down to Tony Rizzuti.
Our pole sitter today, Matt DiBenedetto, and you're on the pole. We know at most tracks it's a big advantage, but on a road course, how huge advantage is it to have that track position early?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be pretty key today on the road course. This track position is definitely pretty important, so it's good to start up front, see if I can just get out there and ride up front, stay up there all day, and have a good, clean pit stop, and see if we're there at the end, try to pick up the victory.
Now, on an oval track, you can pass pretty much everywhere, but on this road course, where are the key areas that we might see passing today?
Yeah, this place is pretty neat track here at Lime Rock. I'd say a lot of passing going in turn one is definitely going to be the main place. Around the rest of the track, honestly, it's pretty tough. It's pretty risky around other places, but definitely turn one will be a pretty good place to watch for.
All right, the young man, he's a development driver for Joe Gibbs Racing. He'll roll off from the pole position here this afternoon. Guys?
Second pole for Matt DiBenedetto. Ryan Truex just 26 points in front of Jody Lavender.
Rick, this is the closest point battle in all of NASCAR.
And it's the closest this points battle has ever been in this series with just 3 races remaining. Matt DiBenedetto in his second pole will start on the inside of row 1. Ryan Truex, our point leader, on the outside of row 1.
Jason Holhouse is going to start on the second row. He made his oval track debut last time out at Adirondack.
Jody Lavender on the outside of row 7. Again, coming into this just 26 points out of the lead. How about Matt Kovaluk starting in the back in row 11? There's a guy who's won 3 out of the last 4 races at this racetrack. Track description, 1.43 miles. Let's go back to Tony Rizzuti.
Well, thanks, guys. And obviously, we talked to the front row because track position is so key. But there are 2 guys starting in the back that we want to keep our eyes on today. One of them is Matt Kovaluk. He's won here last year. In fact, he's won 2 out of the last 3 times here at Lime Rock Park. And he has an incredibly fast race car. How fast? Well, he was best in both of the practices yesterday. But during his qualifying lap, the car didn't run. We found out they had a little bit of water in the fuel, so he'll start in the back. Another guy who's very good on the road courses is Steve Park. He had to make an engine change, so he'll start in the back as well. Be interesting to watch the 40 and the 35 come through the pack this afternoon.
Yeah, another thing with Steve Park, he was our most recent winner at Adirondack last time the E-Series were on the track.
That's right. And this, on a road course with a 22-car field like this, it is very, very difficult to get by all these guys. We heard Matt DiBenedetto talk about really only one good passing zone, and that's in turn number 1 at the end of the long front straightaway.
And speaking of, they're about to take the green flag. Matt DiBenedetto and Ryan Truex across the start-finish line to get this one underway.
Real important, Ryan Truex is not able to get by Matt DiBenedetto getting into turn number 1, so Matt DiBenedetto will lead this thing. Gonna have to keep our eye on Kovaluk there. So good at this racetrack. 3-time winner, as you mentioned, overall, but starting way, way back.
And again, the problems, they had water in the engine, so they had to go to the back of the field. That's why he's starting deep in this field. We'll see how he does making his way up as we see a good battle for 7.
You know, this is a little bit of an unusual kind of road course because these guys don't really shift all that much. They get to high gear on the front stretch, they go back down to second gear for first gear, and then they run a few corners in second, then up to third, and then back around to the front stretch where they get back in high gear, so very little shifting on a road course like this.
Look at the lead that Matt DiBenedetto has already put on Ryan Truex. The undulation, the elevation change that this racetrack has also makes it very unique.
It's really amazing that the job that these young drivers have done on the road courses. We saw Matt DiBenedetto get both poles at Watkins going in here. Ooh, trouble already.
Issues early on for Scott Booley. The 26 slides into the grass. Let's see if he can keep it off of the racetrack.
I think he may have lost an engine. There's Matt Kovaluk stalled. His problems continue.
And he stopped on the racetrack. That's going to have to bring out a caution if he doesn't get moving once again.
Eddie McDonald with 71. Eddie comes into this race 3rd in points.
There you see the field trying to go by that 40, and so our first caution does come out as Matt Kovaluk's troubles continue on the racetrack. We'll be right back with more of the Mohegan Sun 200 on Speed. Welcome back. One of the early favorites to win this race, struggling, bringing out our first caution. That's Matt Kobaluk. He was stopped on the racetrack, so the field slowed down once again. Phil, I would guess that we will see strategy once again whenever we see a road course race. People back it up to when they come in on pit road.
That's exactly right. They feel like they want to come in around lap number 20, and then they're going to need some caution laps after that to be able to make it. But ideally, as we see the restart, you want to make your pit stop under green, and then when the caution comes out, anybody else that will pit under caution will line up behind you.
Couple developmental drivers up front of the field right now. Matt DiBenedetto up in front of Ryan Truex. Matt DiBenedetto for Joe Gibbs Racing organization. Right behind him, Michael Waltrip Racing driver Ryan Truex.
Hearing some reports that they may move Matt DiBenedetto into the Nationwide Series for Joe Gibbs Racing next year. There's some strong rumors to that effect. Maybe on a limited amount, but nonetheless some nationwide racing.
He's had an impressive start to his career here in the East Series. 2 wins already. His first one at Tri-County, then New Hampshire just a couple weeks ago. Driving the checkered flag also. But a limited schedule. He's not run the full schedule up to this point.
I know the Gibbs folks have said that they would have liked to have run him the entire schedule, but they had no idea that he was going to have as much success as he has had. You see Mike Olson locked the brakes up a little bit getting in turn number 1.
There's the opposite end of the spectrum from that DiBenedetto. He used to be a veteran of this series, but running just a limited schedule this year. Loudon, his only start in 2009, he finished 13th there. Jesus Hernandez, Eddie McDonald battling for that 5th spot.
Jesus is also running a limited schedule in this number 12 car. Antonio Perez, when he's not busy racing in Mexico, will drive this car, but every time Jesus has been in the car, he's been very, very good. The last 3 times out, he's had top 10 finishes.
Eddie McDonald just behind him. Eddie battling for a points championship. He's only 35 points out of the lead, driving that number 71 car.
Eddie's been done something different here for this race. He actually is running a built motor. Typically, all these guys will run that spec motor. They had trouble with their spec motors on the road courses, so they decided to have a built motor here for this race here at Lime Rock, and so far so good.
He was battling for 5th, continues that battle. You see Jesus Hernandez just in front of him. Jesus in the 12, Eddie McDonald in the 71.
So much at stake here with only 3 races left in the 2009 season, and every race is so important. Eddie McDonald comes in this race only 35 points behind Ryan Truex, so definitely within striking distance for this championship.
And he's got to worry about Alex Kennedy right behind him in the 37. He's trying to get that position away from Eddie McDonald. These 3 cars battling it out for the 5th spot.
Alex had a top 10 finish earlier at Watkins Glen this year on the road course.
Now Eddie McDonald looking like he was moving over and allowing Alex Kennedy almost an opportunity, but closes the door back on that 37.
What a beautiful racetrack here.
Trees lining both sides of the racetrack. A picturesque setting for this one as we see the battle for 6 continuing. Eddie McDonald and Alex Kennedy. Alex Kennedy takes the spot away from Eddie McDonald. Now he'll set his sights on Jesus Hernandez, who's just in front of him.
You really want to be in position going in turn number 1, because we heard Matt DiBenedetto say that is the best passing zone on the racetrack, maybe even almost the only passing zone on this racetrack. You want to be ready. You want to get a good run down that front stretch so you can outbrake somebody getting down in turn number 1.
See the spacing between most of the cars on the track now. As Matt DiBenedetto has put some distance between himself and Ryan Truex. They're running 1 and 2. We still see the battle. There's our top 2. The battle continuing for that 5th spot.
Jason Holhouse right now is running in the 3rd spot. Great run for him early on. You see that's the burgundy car there right there in your screen, in front of your screen. He is an instructor for Skip Barber. He's the chief instructor for Skip Barber, so you know he knows his way around the road course.
He's got it figured out. We see Jesus Hernandez now has his hands full as that 37 has moved up. Alex Kennedy trying to take 5th away from Jesus.
Got a glimpse a moment ago of Brett Moffitt and Andy Santerre's car. He's running in the 4th position right now, the 44 car.
Saw Sean Case have success in that race car, and now handing over the reins to Moffitt.
Moffitt becoming the youngest ever pole sitter and race winner in the Camping World East Series.
Just 16 years old. He broke Joey Logano's record as far as the youngest winning the pole and a win in this series. 16. I remember barely being able to drive my car, and he's out on a racetrack winning races.
Talked to Andy in the garage here, and Andy said they're going to go to Iowa for the West race coming up. Obviously not a points race for them, but that's the part of the country that Brett's from. They wanted to run that race, so they're getting ready to go do that here in a little while.
Second caution coming out. Another
Matt
car.
Kobaluk has stalled on the racetrack. Once again, what a horrible day for Matt Kobaluk.
We're hearing it is the 40 of Matt Kobaluk that has stalled once again. The problems continue for that three-time winner, John Salemi, also having issues. He pulls into the garage area. So Salemi was slow in that 63. He'll come off of the racing surface, as well as that 40 of Matt Kobaluk. You see them trying to get him off of the racetrack as well. So a difficult start for Kobaluk, a great start for Matt DiBenedetto. Welcome back again under caution. We saw John Salemi pull off the racetrack, as well as the 40 of Matt Kobaluk. His troubles continue. They started before the race even started. He had to start at the back of the field and has twice now stopped on the racetrack.
When we talk about this race being a race of strategy, about when these guys can pit, well, these caution laps before they make a pit stop aren't helping anything. It's the caution laps that they're going to count on after that pit stop is what they need.
Green flag back in the air. Matt DiBenedetto followed by Ryan Truex. They're your top two as they head into turn one.
Jason Holhouse continues to run in third. Brett off fourth. That's him right there in the 44 car of Andy Santerre.
There's your top two. Matt DiBenedetto, Ryan Truex. 81 of Jason Holhouse holding on to the third spot.
Caught a glimpse of Jody Lavender right now, second points. He's in about the 10th position, look like.
Tell you what, Matt DiBenedetto looks extremely good on this racetrack. Hasn't made a mistake up to this point.
He's looked extremely good all year long at every racetrack we've been to. Really done a nice job.
There's Jesus Hernandez, followed closely by that 37 of Alex Kennedy. And those two battling for the fifth spot.
There's one of those elevation changes you were talking about coming down the hill there.
Under the little crossover bridge. On lap 15, again 82 scheduled for this one.
There's Jody in the lime green painted car, number 88.
See Eddie McDonald in 71 still chasing at 37. Alex Kennedy. Matt DiBenedetto leading. He's led every lap of this race, all 15. Ryan Truex runs second. There's Matt Kobaluk once again. Looks like he's coming back out on the racetrack now.
We're hearing he has carburetor issues now. Tony reported that he had fuel, water in the fuel during practice and qualifying, or towards the end of practice and during qualifying, but now he's having some carburetor issues and looks like he's not up to speed yet.
Field coming through. Going downhill before they get into that right-hander. And strung out once again as they go by the start-finish line. That's where Matt DiBenedetto said the easiest place to pass, and what a difficult day. It continues for Matt Kobaluk. He is slow on the racetrack once again.
This has been a year after his great championship season last year. You know, Matt came into the season with so much hope for maybe a repeat, and it just hasn't gone his way at all.
Here comes Alex Kennedy. Looking once again, trying to take that position away from Jesus Hernandez.
It looked like Jesus opened the door there for just a moment, but Alex not able to make the pass.
Matt DiBenedetto, Ryan Truex, 1 and 2. Right behind him, Jason Holhouse in the 81 there at the slow 40. Matt Kobaluk, and the field goes by him once again.
Those cars at the top of the hill almost leave the ground. There's such a tremendous elevation change there.
Like a roller coaster ride here at Lime Rock Park. The gap a little bit closer between Ryan Truex and Holhouse.
You know, Rick, we're getting close to our pit window here. I think probably within the next 5 or 6 laps, you're going to see some of these guys feel like they can get in their window, counting on a few caution laps towards the end of the race, but I think we're going to see pit stops here within the next 5 or 6 laps.
Again, this racetrack just over 1.5 miles, so we would expect around 60 laps. They could go 55 to 60 laps.
That's what I would guess, yes, around 60 laps, and they may have to count on some caution laps. You typically don't get very good fuel mileage on a road course because you're in the throttle so much and then off the throttle, so it's much like a short track. You don't get as good a fuel mileage as you would on a speedway.
And again, on these road courses, the rarity is it's almost better to come in under green and make your pit stop.
Totally better to come in under green. But now, if they want to pit around lap 20 and the caution's going to come out on 19, well, they're going to pit on 19. They're not going to wait till after the caution's out. But ideally, right now, you want to get in your window, get your pit work done under green, and then get back on the racetrack, and then hope that some of your competitors haven't pitted, and then they're going to have to come in under caution.
So you gain all of that track position back.
And you know that you're not going to have to make a second pit stop as we see this battle for fifth continue. A terrific battle. We've heard this battle the entire race between Jesus, Alex Kennedy, and Eddie McDonald.
Those three cars continue to stay nose to tail around the racetrack as we see our top four separating themselves, but Jesus Hernandez almost holding up Alex Kennedy now. At least you see the big gap between Jesus Hernandez and the driver in front of him.
And don't think Alex Kennedy is not noticing that big gap is in front of him as well.
Oh, we're seeing Matt DiBenedetto. It looks as though he's going to make his pit stop now. So Matt DiBenedetto gives up the lead. Ryan Truex takes over on the top spot. Let's head down to pit road, and Tony Rizzuti as DiBenedetto has hit pit road.
And our leader now hitting pit road, Matt DiBenedetto. In for his scheduled stop. It'll be fuel only and a chassis adjustment for the number 18. Down and away. Matt DiBenedetto back into the race.
Pretty routine stop there. Just fuel and maybe a slight adjustment for trying to get the handling a little bit better, but I'm telling you, that car looked good on the racetrack.
Yeah, I don't know that I would adjust too much on it. These guys are not allowed to change tires for this race. They only have the 4 tires they started on unless they have a flat down on the wheel. But good pit work by the Joe Gibbs team, but that leaves Ryan Truex now as our leader.
Ryan Truex in front of the field now. Whole house chasing him in that 81. Then behind them, the 44 of Brett Moffitt running third now.
Remember, that's 5 points now for Ryan Truex. All important points coming into this race with only 26-point lead.
26-point lead over Jody Lavender coming into this race. 3 races remain, including this one. And now coming back out onto the racetrack, Matt DiBenedetto is 13th.
I would say, well, at least he has clean racetrack, but he has pretty much had a clean racetrack the entire race.
It's been impressive for Matt DiBenedetto. Now Ryan Truex is your race leader. Welcome back to the Mohegan Sun 200 from Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut. Ryan Truex out in front of the field now as Matt DiBenedetto has made his scheduled pit stop on lap 19. Whole house running second.
Yeah, it won't be long till the rest of these leaders come on down pit road.
Oh, and we're seeing Ryan Truex make the hard right turn. He is going to come down pit road. Looks like Whole House faked coming down pit road. He'll stay out. Let's go to pit road and Tony Rizzuti.
The Napa Toyota of Ryan Truex hits pit road for a splash of gas. This is their scheduled stop. They're going to clean the front grille to make sure the car doesn't overheat. Just a few seconds of fuel, about 7 seconds is what they claimed. He stalls the car, and now they'll push the car down pit road trying to refire. They have not been able to refire. This is costing Ryan Truex a ton of time. Still has not fired, and the NASCAR officials are walking out there, and that is as far as they can push it. This could be a blow to the title hopes of Ryan Truex, who now fires the car and is down and away. Tough break for the 00.
Wow, a lot of time lost on pit road there for Ryan Truex.
Under green as well, too. So you know Matt DiBenedetto had a pretty quick pit stop and got out clean. He's going to have a huge lead right now on Ryan Truex when they get back on the racetrack.
Kurzieski has problems, it looks like, staying on the racetrack. We're seeing smoke coming out of the 10.
Looks like he may be able to make his way back around the racetrack. There's our new leader, Jason Wholehouse. First time he's ever led a Camping World East Series race.
So Jason Wholehouse in front of the pack now, but only a matter of time, I'm sure, before he makes his way onto pit road for his scheduled pit stop. Matt DiBenedetto so strong early in this race. We still see the problems for Kurzieski.
Yeah, left front tire down on that 10 car.
Here comes Wholehouse. We'll see if this is the time when he decides to come onto pit road. We see Matt DiBenedetto now all the way up to 10. Again, he restarted after coming off of pit road in 13th.
It was a tremendous distance gap between DiBenedetto and Ryan Truex once Ryan got back out on the racetrack. There's Ryan right there. He's in the 13th position, just getting by the 7 car of Ryan Duff.
He makes his way by Ryan Duff. Ryan Duff also had come onto pit road earlier, the same time that Ryan Truex was on pit road. He got off quicker.
I think pretty much everybody got off quicker than Ryan that time with that car stalling like that. And, you think it would be easy to refire these cars. It's not that easy when everything is hot as it is. So they did a good job of getting that car refired and getting him back on the racetrack.
A huge lead for Jason Holhouse now, as he is holding on to the top spot and making his way onto pit road. So our leader gives up the top spot, and he heads down to pit road. Tony Rizzuti.
And the latest hit pit road, the 81 of Jason Holhouse, the Canadian driver from Toronto, on pit road. Once again, fuel only on the 81. You see the catch can man, he waves. They hit it one more time, and Jason pulls away. He'll fall back in the pack. He stalls the car briefly. Trouble on pit road for the last 2 leaders, both Ryan Truex and Jason Holhouse stalling their cars on pit road.
So Holhouse comes off of pit road. Phil, we saw the gas man try to put gas back in there, but they had already taken the catch can out, so gas wouldn't have gone in because there's a stopper that stops that fuel from flowing, correct?
Yeah, it stops it coming out the vent. You need it vented in order to get fuel in it. But unfortunately, when they took the catch can away, it has a little poker that pokes open that vent. So it really didn't do any good, but the thing was full the first time. You really didn't need to do that.
Habit is to pack these things full. Jesus Hernandez out in front of the field now. We saw him earlier battling for the 5th spot, trying to hold on to it. Now he's in front of the field.
There's the 16 of Jonathan Smith right there. That's the car that Mike Olson owns and typically runs a full schedule with a 16 car.
He's fielded the car for Jonathan Smith this season, as Jonathan Smith tries to chase that 12 of Jesus Hernandez around this just over 1.5 mile road course.
Jonathan had a top 10 finish at Watkins Glen earlier this year on the road course.
Jesus Hernandez trying to continue his successes this year, as you mentioned earlier, keeping the streak of top 10 finishes alive. The past 3 races he's finished up in the top 10, but still has yet to come onto pit road. So we will be seeing Jesus Hernandez here shortly on pit road.
Jesus was one of the DEI developmental drivers last year. Had a 2nd place finish, was his career best at Thompson in 2008.
The field spreading out now. The last caution was for Kobaluk and Salemi. Those two slowing on the racetrack, and Kobaluk has had an awful day today as he started at the back of the field, had water in the fuel, and had to go to the back of the field, and from that point forward it has not gotten any better.
It almost seemed like the water and fuel was one of the highlights of the day compared to what's gone on for him in the race.
Again, Jesus Hernandez leading the field around Lime Rock Park. These two have separated themselves, but again, just a matter of time before we see them on pit road for their scheduled service.
I'm a little bit surprised that these guys have stayed on the racetrack as long as they have. There's Jonathan Smith now getting ready to turn on pit road. He's going to make the hard right-hand turn. Jesus Hernandez will at least run 1 more lap.
So Jesus Hernandez stays out to continue to lead the field around this racetrack, and now scheduled pit stop for Jonathan Smith as he stops in his pit stall area. Again, just fuel added. You hear the engines rev when they come up over that hill, and then we also will hear it when they drop off just before they make the hard right-hander to the start-finish line.
Tremendous elevation changes here, and you can hear it when you hear that engine rev. That's because the wheels are getting very, very light.
Almost lifting the car completely off the ground. It's got to be an exhilarating feeling going around this racetrack. 82 times is the scheduled distance. It's 200 kilometers that we'll be racing here. Jesus Hernandez has decided to continue to lead the field. He hasn't come down pit road for his scheduled pit stop. We would expect that soon. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Because of time constraints, we've jumped ahead in our coverage. When we went away, the 12 of Jesus Hernandez was leading. He came on to pit road. Now Matt DiBenedetto has moved back to the top spot as we pass the halfway point, looking for those 82 laps of racing here from Lime Rock Park.
Remember Ryan Truex, who was 2nd early on and actually led the race after our leader pitted, is now not in the top 5 because of stalling on pit road. There's a glimpse of him right there racing the 71 of Eddie McDonald. There's Ryan Truex in the Napa Toyota.
Again, Ryan Truex starting on the outside of row 1 for this race, but as you mentioned, those problems on pit road have relegated him back in the field. Out front, the strongest car of the day has been the 18 of Matt DiBenedetto. We see a good battle taking place here between the 81 of Jason Holhouse and that 37 of Alex Kennedy.
Good battle right there. Jason Holhouse has been strong this entire race.
Not only a good-looking race car, but also a fast one. That 81 just in front of the 37, Holhouse and Kennedy.
There's Andy McDonald, Ryan Truex. That's a battle for the 5th position. Ryan's trying to battle back from that miscue on pit road. Andy McDonald, 35 points behind coming into this race right now, running in front of Ryan Truex. So if he can stay there, he knows he's not going to lose any points because obviously Ryan Truex has already led this race. Andy McDonald did not. So if they finished right now, they would be dead even for this race.
Not the ideal place to get by a race car on this racetrack, but Holhouse is going to make it work in that 81, and Kennedy follows him in the 37. Passing the slower lap car.
Matt Krzyzewski, the 10 car, had problems earlier. There's Alex getting a little damage to that left front corner on that 37 car.
Looks like a little contact has been made between Alex Kennedy. Oh, problems. He goes off the racetrack. Could that be a left front going down?
I think that tire went down, Rick. That's exactly what happened to Alex Kennedy.
What timing, too, as he makes the hard right turn to go on to pit road. So difficulties for Alex Kennedy as he had a good run going. And now we see Matt DiBenedetto continuing to stretch out his lead here at the road course.
We're going to have to see if Alex Kennedy can get back on the racetrack before Matt DiBenedetto comes by to lap him.
Matt DiBenedetto started on the pole, his second pole of the season, after winning the pole at Watkins Glen earlier this year. He has really set a blistering pace here at Lime Rock Park today.
Every finish this season, every race this season for Matt DiBenedetto has resulted in a top 10 finish. 4 of the 5 races he's run, top 5 finishes. There's Brett Moffitt right there currently running in the second spot. Brett's done an extremely nice job here in Andy Santerre's car.
Brett Moffitt holding on to second, but quite a ways behind that 18 of Matt DiBenedetto.
Brett finished 3rd at Watkins Glen earlier this year, so he's done an extremely good job on the road course. There's Matt Kobeluk. Finally looks like he may be up to speed for the first time in this race.
Numerous laps down is that 40 of Matt Kobeluk. And we saw the 37 of Alex Kennedy just behind him, so he had come back off of pit road after changing that left front tire.
There's the 39 car of Dustin Delaney. That 88 car is Jody Lavender right in front of our leader. Remember, that's our runner-up right now in the points. Ryan Truex now has made his way by Eddie McDonald, and with Alex Kennedy's pit stop, that's moved him up to 4th. Good battle between he and Jason Holhouse for 3rd.
Jason Holhouse is going to try to hold off Ryan Truex. He ran 2nd most of this race, was able to get out and lead a lap or 2. Got his 5 bonus points. Now we see the battle for 6. That's Mike Olson in the 61 and his, teammate or car in Jonathan Smith in the 16 just behind him.
That's it. Mike Olson said, hey, every man for himself here in this race. I don't get to do this much.
Mike Olson's ran 15 of the 16 races at this racetrack. Whoa, Jesus Hernandez off the racetrack. He gets it straightened back out.
There's Brett Moffitt coming off pit road. Andy Santerre did not feel as though were going to get enough caution laps for him to get in this window. He felt like he needed a little bit of fuel and he wanted to do it now versus waiting towards the end of the race.
So a unscheduled pit stop for Moffitt coming back onto pit road. That'll lose a lot of track position for him.
Sure will. Right now, DiBenedetto was setting such a torrid pace that nobody's even in the same zip code right now as him.
Matt DiBenedetto has been dominant today after starting on the pole. He was the first onto pit road. There's a guy who we normally say is dominant, Matt Kobeluk, but a disappointing day for him as he is numerous laps down to the field.
We can see Ryan Truex has made his way by Jason Holhouse to take over the 2nd position. Now Jason has his hands full with Eddie McDonald for 3rd.
And again, Moffitt came off the racetrack. He was running up front. That's why Ryan Truex now is the lone car behind Matt DiBenedetto. This is the way we started the race. We'll see if Ryan Truex can catch up to Matt DiBenedetto. He wasn't able to do anything with him when they were both on the racetrack to start this race.
And Matt still has that huge lead from his great pit work on pit road. Remember, Ryan had trouble stall the current pit road, lost about probably 15, 20 extra seconds.
What a great sound there as those cars come up that hill, and you hear them almost coming completely off the ground as the engines get a little higher pitched and back down the downhill there. The 81 and the 71 battling for that 3rd spot. That's Holhouse and McDonald.
A little smoke there. You can see Matt DiBenedetto's led the last 34 laps. Eddie McDonald's left front tire is smoking a little bit.
Strong performance for Matt DiBenedetto. Ryan Truex runs second now. Whole house in third. We'll be back for more here on Speed. Welcome back. It's been a bright and sunny day for Matt DiBenedetto as we see Ryan Truex, who's running second now at Lime Rock Park. This is the Mohegan Sun 200. Full house in the 81, McDonald in the 71. Those two battling for the third spot right now. McDonald almost getting to the inside of Whole House.
Yeah, Eddie McDonald knows that's 5 points right there in front of him that he can go up and grab. Ooh, almost a little contact there.
Jason Whole House trying to hold off. Eddie McDonald, that battle is for the third position.
Looking like a good move by Eddie McDonald to have that belt motor here for this race. Has had no issues whatsoever with that.
Very strong. He's trying to move his way up and challenge for the points championship here in the Camping World Touring Series East.
Jody Lavender, yeah, a lap down already. Really going to take a hit in the points. Side by side for third.
Eddie McDonald makes the move by Whole House. He'll take third away.
You can see that leader right in front of him, the point leader, Ryan Truex. He's got him in his sights now.
Ryan Truex running second to Matt DiBenedetto. Now, the 71 of Eddie McDonald coming on. Oh, problems for Matt Kovaluk in the 40. He gets turned around.
Right at the top of the hill there.
Or third caution. Oh, problems also for the 10. Krzyzewski gets turned around and looks as though he might have some contact as well.
That's our leader, Matt DiBenedetto. Look at all the damage on that 18 car.
Unbelievable. Such a strong day for Matt DiBenedetto, and damage looks like beyond repair. The left side just destroyed on this race car.
What a horrible break for Matt DiBenedetto. Looks like that's probably a blind part of the racetrack, and he came over the hill, and Matt was sitting there, and obviously we saw Krzyzewski dive to the inside to try to avoid it.
Like a can opener had just opened up the left side of DiBenedetto's car, and now we see the 40 of Kovaluk. He gets it running once again, tries to get it to where he can get it onto pit road. And speaking of pit road, let's go back to Tony Rizzuti. He's got a report on Matt DiBenedetto.
And huge damage to our leader, Matt DiBenedetto. You see the crew going around to the left side of the car, but look at the damage on the left front wheel, pushed all the way in, the fender completely gone. The crew going to remove that left front tire, but you can see they've got the sheet metal bent all the way back to the driver's door. You got to imagine the hoses that cool off these brakes are damaged. Can't tell how much wheel damage might be done as the crew starts to pull away that front, but a tough break for our leader who was just trying to save some fuel. And then he runs over the air hose, so an added problem for our leader of the race. Tough break for the 18.
He may be able to get back on the racetrack, but no way will he be under full power. You see Kovaluk has already made contact with a wall. We'll keep an eye open for DiBenedetto. Krzyzewski's going to come in here just in a moment.
He slides off to the left of your screen.
There's Krzyzewski right there in the 10 car. Kovaluk's trying to get the car refired. You can see the fire coming out of the exhaust pipe. And there's the contact that's already happened with DiBenedetto and Kovaluk.
So Kovaluk gets hit. You'll see it happen right here.
Krzyzewski actually made a little bit of contact. Oh, and there's DiBenedetto. Just a blind part of the racetrack there. No, very, very difficult. The teams were required to have 3 different spotters here at this racetrack. There's another view at full speed.
And you could just hear the tires screeching as he was trying to get on the brakes and trying to get stopped. But obviously a problem, not only for Matt Kovaluk, but also Matt DiBenedetto. He is with Tony Rizzuti.
All right, we've caught up with Matt DiBenedetto, and you were making it look so easy out there. What happened at the end?
Oh, man, I had the car slow down about 4.5 seconds a lap. It was probably the most unbelievable race car I've ever driven in my life. And we were just saving fuel. I mean, we were good to go on fuel, but I was just saving anyways and saving my tires. Things were still brand new, so I rode the whole race. I came up over the hill, and it wasn't called until too late. And next thing I know, I came over the hill, and Kovaluk was stopped sideways on the racetrack, which I don't know what he's doing out there. He kept dying, causing problems and stopping, and just bit us in the end. But I mean, I got to think Joe Gibbs Driven and Joe Gibbs Driven Toyota was amazing, and all the guys at Joe Gibbs Racing for still giving me the opportunity to
still great to be able to drive these race cars. And we'll go to Dover next and go get that monster trophy there. But tough break for the guys. What can you do? Yeah, he had him covered today, but unfortunately his day will end behind the wall. Tough break for the 18.
The 18-year-old getting a lesson today here on the road course. Ryan Truex now in front of the field. Final 10 laps when we come back. Welcome back to the Mohegan Sun 200, one of the strongest cars all day. Matt DiBenedetto has been into the garage and parked. That means that Ryan Truex now in front of the field. He will take the green flag as we restart. And Ryan Truex, your point leader coming into this race, looks to add to that lead.
Good jump, Eddie McDonald feigns to the inside, not able to do it. Look at Brett Moffitt on the outside of it. Oh, and he runs off the racetrack.
Brett Moffitt off the racetrack, trying to take second away from Eddie McDonald. Couldn't do it. So Moffitt will tuck back in behind the pack now as they make their way around the racetrack. Here comes Eddie McDonald. A hard charge there on Ryan Truex.
Jason Holhouse continues to run third. Mike Olson fourth. There's Alex Kennedy, the 37 car. Alex had that unscheduled pit stop for Fletcher. Ooh, little contact with Jonathan Smith.
So Jonathan Smith and Alex Kennedy battling for the 6th spot. Jonathan Smith trying to hold on. Here comes Alex Kennedy to his right side as they get it ready to go into the right-hander. A big lead now for Ryan Truex over Eddie McDonald running second. Jason Holhouse is third in the 81.
This guy, ooh. Jesus Hernandez gets off the racetrack. Ooh, into the wall, Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan Smith is going to bring out our 4th caution as we were winding down with the final laps of this race. A difficult situation there for the young Jonathan Smith in that 16.
I wonder if maybe Jesus Hernandez running off the racetrack and creating that dust storm may have had something to do with that. But you know what? Hard battle with Alex Kennedy. Jonathan Smith was having that may have been the cause.
Mike Olson just in front of Jesus Hernandez. And in front of them, Jason Holhouse, your race leader, seeing the caution flag. Ryan Truex. Eddie McDonald will be able to tuck right up to the back of that 00.
It's going to be a break for a lot of the guys that were counting on the caution laps to get to the end. Some of these guys pitted a little bit earlier than others, and they're hoping for some caution laps, and this is going to be a big help.
Ryan Truex was second on pit road just after lap 21 of this race. There you see on lap 77, it's the 00 of Ryan Truex out in front as we have a caution, and Jonathan Smith not happy at all with one of the drivers on the racetrack.
I would think that would probably be Alex Kennedy. They were racing really hard. I didn't know if that dust storm from Jesus running off the racetrack may have had something to do with it. Obviously, Jonathan doesn't feel that way.
Alex Kennedy, Jonathan Smith, well, maybe not best friends right now. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Mohegan Sun 200. About to get to the completion of this one. It will actually go a few laps past the scheduled distance. It was scheduled to go 82 laps, but because of cleanup, we're getting the green flag with a couple extra laps to go in this one. Green flag back in the air. Ryan Truex in front of Eddie McDonald in the 71. We'll see if he can hold on to that top spot.
3 wide getting down in turn number 1. Eddie McDonald's going to merge with second. Mike Olson, the 61 on the outside, not able to get third from Jason Holhouse.
Jason Holhouse has the preferred line on the inside of that right-hander, and he's able to hold on to the 3rd spot, but that doesn't mean that he's going to give up that easily.
Jesus Hernandez right now right on the rear bumper of Jason Holhouse. There's Steve Park.
Steve Park having troubles early before the start of this race, having to start toward the back. We were going to see if he could maneuver his way up to the front, but it hasn't been his day as we see Ryan Truex now put some distance between himself and Eddie McDonald.
If Ryan can just get to the start-finish line, take the white flag, then he knows the race will be official, even if the caution flag comes out. Got a pretty good lead right now in Eddie McDonald.
Eddie McDonald runs second. Jason Holhouse is third. A great battle for fourth now. Jesus Hernandez on the outside of that 37 of Alex Kennedy.
Jesus is going to move him over to the inside. Long front straightaway.
That white flag has come out, as you mentioned, Phil. Now it's official. If the caution comes back out, it will be an official race. Ryan Truex can hold on. We'll see. The battle continues, though, between Jesus Hernandez and Alex Kennedy.
Right now, Jesus has a 4th spot.
There's Eddie McDonald running second to Ryan Truex. Jason Holhouse third. Here comes the 12 and the 37 again. Jesus Hernandez trying to hold off. Alex Kennedy makes a bump to the bumper there, and it looks as though Jesus Hernandez holds on. Ryan Truex Eddie McDonald, Jason Holhouse, 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, Jesus got sideways at the top of the hill.
Alex Kennedy still on his back bumper. Ryan Truex holding off. Eddie McDonald looks as though Truex, without a problem here, is going to win again, his third win of the 2009 season.
What a great job by Mike Grucci and all his guys here in this Napa Toyota for MWR.
Eddie McDonald finishing second. Holhouse holds on for third. Alex Kennedy makes the pass on Jesus Hernandez, as does Mike Olson. So Hernandez drops all the way back to sixth unofficially.
Great day for Ryan Truex. Going to extend the point lead a little bit with only 2 races to go.
Mohegan Sun 200 winner Ryan Truex adds this win to his earlier road course win at Watkins Glen and at Thompson. The last 5 races, Ryan Truex was finished in the top 2 in each of those races.
And he's 17 years old.
And he's just 17 years old. Driving for Michael Waltrip Racing in the development program. Your Mohegan Sun winner is Truex. We'll hear from him next. Jubilation once again for Ryan Truex's team as they have won the Mohegan Sun 200 from Lime Rock Park. We take a look at the official results. Eddie McDonald, Holhouse holding on to that third spot.
Eddie McDonald will take over second in the points now. Jody Lavender not finishing in the top 10, as you can see, back in 13th position.
Matt Kobeluk, a terrible day for them as they finish up in the 17th spot. John Salemi off the racetrack early as well. Let's go hear from our winner. He is with Tony Rizzuti.
And here comes young Ryan Truex out of the Napa Toyota. A wave of the flag, he jumps off the car. An incredible win here at Lime Rock. Congratulations, buddy.
Oh, thanks. I got it. These guys are the reason. Every week they give me such a good car. I'm tired.
Let's talk about that pit stop earlier on, because I almost questioned when the car stalled that your championship hopes may have just evaporated. What were you thinking at that time?
Well, I just screwed up. Stalled the car, couldn't get it very far. Finally got a 2, and I just went out and just ran my own race. Just try to knock off laps every lap, just run perfect and coach people, you know. Got to thank Napa, Michael Waltrip Racing, and all the fans for coming out. It's awesome.
And these road course races tend to be the big unknown in a championship battle. Getting a win here has to make you very confident going into the last couple races.
Yeah, I got the best team out here, so they make it easy for me to go out and win every week. Just got to keep running up front, and we can get it.
Well, he's been running up front, and today he wins at Lime Rock. Ryan Truex, victorious here this afternoon.
Again, the 17-year-old grabbing his third win of the season. That has put now 50 points between he and Eddie McDonald, currently second in the point standings. And speaking of second in the point standings, also second in this race. Let's hear from him and Tony.
Well, we've caught up with the second place finisher today, Eddie McDonald. And Eddie, you drove a very interesting race because you had a little problem out there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, somewhere around lap 30, the car got stuck in that fourth gear, so it made it awful tough on the restarts. And coming out of the left-hand over there was really lugging a lot. But my guys, you know, Grimm Construction and Rob Grimm, just unbelievable. Thank you for this opportunity. And my crew, you know, everyone is volunteer crew, so they work so hard, you know, every day, and just put me where I am, and just can't thank them any more than that.
They say champions overcome adversity. Eddie McDonald certainly did that today. Ryan Truex will pick up a few points, but not as many as what could have happened had that car not been able to finish. Second place today for the 71.
Eddie McDonald's now just 50 points back from Ryan Truex, as we have just 2 races remaining in the East Series. Our next race on speed, the Camping World Touring Series West at Iowa Speedway. That one airs September 10th at 3 p.m.
Great job by Ryan Truex. He had problems on pit road, but stuck with it. Stayed out there, and unfortunately, Matt DiBenedetto right there made contact. Matt dominated this race, but unfortunately did not get to the finish.
It was Ryan Truex who grabs the checkered flag for the third time in 2009 on his way to his first ever Touring Series championship, if he can hold on.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.